Hey, it's Pope and Marla, and we are honored. We are just excited. Man who is basically performing with Taylor Swift. You know him for the Riptide song. We have Vance Joy hanging out with us right now.
Hey! Thanks, guys.
Very cool.
I have to ask you, dude, what was your initial reaction when you were first told? By the way, Vance, you're going to be opening for the hottest artist in the galaxy.
Okay, well, I knew that it was a possibility, and I said, are you sure this is real? Like, that Taylor Swift has reached out and wants me to open. So I needed some proof at first, and then once
what proof did you need?
I just needed them to reassure me that that I wasn't, crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was real, and they weren't pulling my leg.
Right.
But yeah, when it was a real thing, I was like, this is crazy. It was kind of just like I had a couple of. It was a massive surprise, and it came out of left field, and I think for a couple of weeks or even longer, I was just kind of feeling pretty good about myself.
Oh, now it's worn off.
No, I still feel good.
No, that's all hat.
I
Get to perform with Taylor Swift.
I was just kind of like, whoa, well, look at me, I'm special. But I guess, yeah. So it was really cool. It was really cool.
Well, I mean, you're hanging out with Taylor now. Is she a cool person? Is she fun to hang out with?
She's totally fun. She's a very genuine, authentic person. I feel like, she's super busy. So when I do get the chance to see her, I just want to tell her, first of all, that her show's amazing, and also thank you so much. I just always want to say thank you so much for having me on this experience, because I'm having so much fun. Like, I've never been on a tour where I've really, it's a long tour, and I'm not really too worried about going home in November. I'm kind of like, this is awesome. I want this to just keep going. And
so you kind of want to like grab onto Taylor's leg and never let go.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm on that. Oh yeah, I want to just ride that coattail.
Well, look what happened to Ed Sheeran, though. I mean, you have
That's
to be
true.
looking at that, thinking, my gosh, he went on tour with her, and look at his career.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Vance Joy, come on.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think over the year I get to play to. Because of Taylor's amazing power to bring people together and bring people to her shows, it's like 1 million, maybe 1.6 million people.
Well, it's not like you're performing in small arenas. I mean, we're talking about your schedule. It's frenetic. You've got back-to-back nights at Levi Stadium. Both shows are sold out. And then, you have Canada, and then 2 more in Arizona.
Yeah.
You've got to be exhausted after all that.
Yes. So I'm going to go to the hotel later today and sit by the pool.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to happen. I'm going to try and do some relaxing in preparation for 5 days of absolutely pounding it. So, yeah.
Now, do you get nervous? Because this is huge for you. I mean, going in, Levi Stadium, God forbid. Do you get little butterflies in your stomach?
Absolutely. So I feel like, yes, without a doubt. And the first few stadium shows were really scary because there is this huge, there's an audience of 60,000 people, and there's a bit of a distance, but I feel like over time you learn that it's not such a big deal. You talk to these people and they want to have fun, they want to engage, and you watch Taylor and she's just like, hey, everybody, like, what's up? And it's just like, they start screaming, like, so
Right.
I feel like, over time I've gotten better at kind of tapping into that kind of energy.
Do you imagine them in their underwear or something like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you're like, oh, look, I've got to do a few things in this show. I really, I have a checklist of things I want to do. I want to, get people to clap along, or I want them to hold up their phones with their lights on, and I'm like, these are the things, and if I do all this stuff and I can get the crowd to come with me, I'll feel really good about the show. And I'm like, you know what, I'm doing it. I don't care. Like, I'm just going to do it. And so in that sense, there is a bit of a feeling of like, it's going to happen, and not quite underwear, but it's still that kind of. There's a little bit.
Not quite underwear.
Not quite.
Not quite underwear. Yeah.
What do you play frisbee? Are you rollerblading on tour? What are you doing to entertain yourself when you're off?
Definitely frisbee. The rollerblades have stayed under the bus, but I feel like this is the West Coast is like the rollerblading part of America. So
Right.
Besides Florida, where they're also friendly to rollerbladers there, but so they'll come out at some point, and the frisbee, and then I think I'm going to see the new Mission Impossible movie, as I was saying, because I need to totally just turn my brain off for a few hours.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So of all the concerts that you've done so far with Taylor, all across the globe, all across the country, what are some of the more exciting moments that you've seen? Or just moments that are like, wow, that could only happen at a Taylor Swift show?
Yeah, something that blew you away.
Okay, that happens kind of regularly. In New York, at the New Jersey show, I didn't know this was happening, but during her song Style, which sometimes she brings guests on stage with her. And during this song, she brought out from below the stage, rose up the entire women's soccer team.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, whoa, and the crowd was going crazy, and there was like USA chants, and it was like everyone. And then, and even when I know the guest, like sometimes I know the guest because I see their room next to my room, and I'm like, so I know that.
So you know beforehand.
I know beforehand, and I know it's Lord, And so in Washington it was Lord, but Taylor gives these pump-up speeches where she builds it up so much that I'm just like, yeah, like bring him out, like
who is it?
And then when she brings him out, I like scream, and I'm like, I knew it was Lord, but I still was like
excited.
Yeah, I still was surprised. I don't know. She has that ability to really, work the crowd and get them really excited.
Okay, so who's the special guest? You know it. You know who it is. You
Come
know.
on,
I actually don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
who
please.
I find out at about like tomorrow. I'll find out about like 3 p.m. So I'll see that. I'll see where my green room is, and then next to my green room, there'll be a special guest, and I'll be like.
Will you be tweeting that information? And if so, can you also at mix1065.com and also at Pope and Marla? Can you at least give us that info?
I really want to just stay on the tour and not get rid of
Yeah, exactly. Stay on the good side of Taylor.
Yeah, I want to stay on the good side. Like I feel like that's very precious information. So even when I'm like, hey, do you guys know? And my manager's like, James or Vance, be quiet.
James or Vance.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Duct tape your mouth.
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you this: do you think there'll be 2 different special guests on this tour? Will there be somebody Friday and different person Saturday, or the same person?
I would think that there'd be 2 different.
2 different.
If I was a
special
betting
guests.
man. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. So
If
that's
you were an
something to look
investor.
forward
If I was
to.
investing.
Well, here's another question I have for you, Vance, is me and my hockey buddy, my hockey teammate, are going to Saturday's concert.
Amazing.
What percentage of the crowd are male?
Okay. I mean, when I'm looking into the crowd, I guess I see mostly like young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then there's a lot of dads there. And there's,
Dads, okay.
And then there's different dad facial expressions. Like there's the dad facial expression, which is kind of totally kind of
Bored.
yeah, like this guy,
Right.
guy. And I try and look into that guy sometimes and trying to get him to smile.
Okay.
But there are also like guys that are absolutely losing their minds, like at the front of the mosh pit.
That'll be this guy.
So if that's
I'm going to work my way and throw in some body checks just to get up front.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to. I think you'd need to do some serious body checks because that crowd is really tightly packed at the front.
Well, just to get a mosh pit going during Riptide, just to get that going.
If you did that, I would be so stoked. Like I would totally just be like, that would,
It
for
would
me,
make his day.
Yeah, it would make my night. If you did that.
I appreciate the challenge.
All right, there
Trying to
you
make that
go.
happen.
Good
If I
luck
can make
with
it from the 400 level, I'm down to the
that.
floor.
Work it out.
Indeed.
So, hey, when you started piano, and did you continue playing piano, or did you quit that and start guitar?
I eventually, started guitar.
Morphed.
I morphed because I didn't like learning sheet music. I liked copying my teacher and listening by ear, but I never was good at sight reading. So I eventually started learning songs. Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, Metallica.
Metallica, you love Metallica,
I love
right?
Metallica, yeah. And I just watched the documentary, so I'm kind of going through a Metallica phase again. Like
You wouldn't think Vance Joy and Metallica. You should
No.
Do you play a Metallica song?
Come on, dude, please.
I do. I learned guitar, and when I was learning, it was the intros. Like their intros to all their songs are just so good.
So good.
So good.
Love them.
Yeah.
Right.
I do.
Yeah. So I still now can play like, a kind of average version of Nothing Else Matters.
And that's my favorite. And
Yeah.
that still brings tears to my eyes. There's something about it. You're just like, nothing else matters. Oh,
What is the chance,
so that
though,
was a big one.
that you could actually maybe drop that in? Say, Saturday night, little Nothing Else Matters,
Little
little
Nothing
Enter
Else Matters.
Sandman, just a
little
little
master
something,
puppets.
just a little ad-libbing on the side.
That would be awesome.
Their entire album.
You and Taylor doing a duet together.
Oh,
Master Puppets.
dude.
Yeah, I think that'd be
I
good.
can see that.
Yeah, actually, that'd be sick.
I see that.
I'll think about it. I'll try and I'll email her.
Nice.
All right, there you go. Because you're pals.
Yes, indeed.
You're
All
pals.
right,
together.
another question I have is when you first came in the studio, we're like, holy, dude is 6. How tall are you? What are you, 6'5", 6'4"?
7'10".
I reckon I'm just shy of 6'4". Yeah.
Okay. Now, growing up in Australia, what kept you from, I don't know, being in... Were you an athlete? I mean, you could have easily been a basketball star in Australia at 6'4".
Yeah, well, I don't know if I think our Australian league. I think all our best players come to play NBA. So
That's true.
But I feel like I was definitely into sport, and I feel like I'm athletic, but I was never going to be a professional. We have a sport called Australian rules football.
Right. ESPN used to always have
a really
that.
rough sport. It's pretty exciting. But I used to play that competitively, and I had a little dream to be professional, but I was never going to, make it. I think the passion I have for music was, a lot bigger.
Right.
Good, and thank you.
So I went with that. I made that call kind of about 23 years in and said, football's not going to happen.
What about the lawyer thing? Weren't you going to law school?
I did go to law school. My brother did the same degree, so he was 4 years older than me. He was well into his law degree, and I thought my brother's a cool guy, and law seems like a pretty, impressive job. My mum will be happy, and she was for a period of time. When I told her that I was going to do music instead, she took some time to adjust. I did some work experience, and I was really good at getting coffees. I was really good at getting juices. I was really good at frowning at my screen, pretending that I was like doing work.
Doing work, yeah, faking it.
I was a furrower, I was like
Gotcha.
furrowing really well, and I made friends with all the people in the office. But I think. And that was typical of a lot of my jobs. I would make friends with everyone and be like the guy that's there and like hanging out and sitting by your desk, but not really doing any work. And so for me, it was definitely the law wasn't going to happen. And I was playing open mic nights, and I decided to go. Let's not even pretend to be a lawyer.
But so you decided, let's just pretend to be a rock star.
Let's pretend to be a rock star and see if that pretending gets me anywhere. Yeah.
Good pretending. It
Still
worked
pretending.
for you.
I'm still pretending.
Now here you are.
Even Taylor Swift is like, hey,
touring
wow.
with Taylor Swift in sold-out football stadiums across the
I'm
country.
tricking everyone.
There you go. That's pretty exciting, though. I mean, it's exciting that what advice would you give somebody that follow your dreams or?
Yeah, I think totally that you can pretend it, you fake it. Like no one really knows what they're doing in terms of. If you go to you see people playing, you say, if you have that feeling in your head that, hey, I could do that, maybe I'm not that bad at this, and maybe I'm just as good as that guy on stage, you should trust that instinct and make a go for it.
Go for it. Love it.
Awesome. There
Love
you go.
it.
Courtesy of Vance Joy. Dude, thank you again
Thank you
so
so
much for hanging out.
much.
We
Thanks,
do
Jeff.
appreciate it, man.
Thank
you,
you.
man.